Have you ever looked around and noticed how many people over 60 seem to be struggling in their relationships? Maybe you've even felt it yourself. The constant effort, the misunderstandings, the feeling that instead of bringing joy, your partner is adding stress to your life. If so, you're not alone. And today we're going to talk about something that may surprise you. Why having a partner after 60 can actually be more of a poison than a blessing. Now I know what you might be thinking. But companionship is important, and you're absolutely right. As humans, we crave connection. We want someone to share our lives with, to talk to lean on. But here's the problem. By the time we reach our 60s and beyond, relationships aren't as simple as they used to be. The dynamics change. The things that once brought us happiness can start to drain us instead. Think about it. When you were younger, relationships were built on growth, building a life together, raising children, chasing dreams. But now, you've already done the hard work. You've built a life, raised a family, maybe even retired. You're not looking to build something new. You're looking for peace, for stability, for happiness. But instead of finding that, many people in their 60s find themselves trapped in relationships that feel like a burden. Let's talk about one of the biggest reasons why: emotional exhaustion. At this stage in life, you've spent decades giving to your children, your job, your family, your responsibilities. And if your partner is constantly demanding more from you, more attention, more care, more emotional labor, it can feel suffocating. Maybe they rely on you for everything, or maybe the small disagreements have started to feel like huge battles. Either way, instead of bringing you comfort, the relationship starts to feel like an energy drain. And then there's the issue of personal freedom. When you were younger, compromise was essential. You had to make decisions together, sacrifice for each other, work as a team. But now, you should be able to enjoy the life you've built on your own terms. Maybe you want to travel without worrying about someone else's schedule. Maybe you want to pick up new hobbies without having to ask for approval. Or maybe you just want to wake up in the morning without feeling responsible for someone else's mood. A relationship that once felt like a partnership can start to feel like a cage. Let's not forget health, both mental and physical. Stress is a silent killer. And if your relationship is causing more stress than peace, it could be affecting your well-being in ways you don't even realize. Studies have shown that unhealthy relationships can lead to higher blood pressure, increased risk of heart disease, and even a shorter lifespan. At this stage in life, your health should be your top priority. If a relationship is making you anxious, draining your energy, or leaving you feeling unfulfilled, it may be doing more harm than good. And here's another reality that many people don't talk about: the need for self-discovery. Just because you're over 60 doesn't mean you stop growing as a person. In fact, this can be one of the most exciting times of your life. A time to rediscover yourself, to focus on your passions, to embrace independence. But if you're constantly wrapped up in relationship conflicts or trying to meet someone else's expectations, you might be missing out on the chance to truly enjoy this stage of your life. Of course, this doesn't mean that every relationship is bad or that companionship isn't valuable. But it does mean that it's time to rethink what relationships should look like after 60. Are they bringing you joy, or are they holding you back? Are they making your life easier, or are they adding stress? Are they supporting your well-being, or are they slowly poisoning your happiness? This is a conversation many people avoid because society tells us that being alone is something to fear. But what if, instead of seeing independence as loneliness, we started seeing it as freedom? What if, instead of clinging to relationships that don't serve us, we embrace the possibility of living life on our own terms? Now, I know this can be a difficult realization, but the truth is, you deserve happiness, peace, and fulfillment. And sometimes that means stepping back and reevaluating the relationships in your life. If you've ever felt that being in a relationship at this stage is more of a struggle than a source of joy, you're not wrong to question it. You're not wrong to put yourself first. So what do you do about it? How do you navigate this stage of life without feeling trapped in an unhappy relationship? And if you choose to be single, how do you make sure that your life is still full of connection, joy, and meaning? We'll be diving into all of that next, because this is just the beginning of the conversation. After realizing that a relationship can sometimes feel more like a burden then a blessing after 60, the next important step is understanding how to transition into a life that feels fulfilling on your own terms. Many people hesitate because they've spent so much of their lives defining happiness through partnership. But what if true happiness lies in self-sufficiency, personal growth, and the freedom to live without compromise? One of the first things to consider is breaking free from the emotional patterns that have kept you feeling trapped. Many people in long-term relationships have developed a habit of prioritizing their partner's needs over their own. This can lead to a cycle of guilt and obligation, making it difficult to make choices that serve your happiness. But now is the time to shift that mindset. Ask yourself, what do I truly want from my days? What brings me joy? When was the last time I made a decision purely for myself? For some, stepping away from a relationship that no longer serves them is the answer. But even if you choose to stay, there's a way to reclaim your independence. It starts with setting boundaries. No matter how long you've been with someone, your time, energy, and emotions are still your own. Start small. Carve out time for yourself every day, whether it's a morning walk, a hobby you've neglected, or even just sitting in silence with a cup of tea. These small moments of self-care can be incredibly powerful. Another key aspect of finding fulfillment after 60 is focusing on personal growth. It's easy to believe that learning and discovery are things meant for younger people. But in reality, this stage of life is the perfect time to explore new interests. Have you ever wanted to paint, write a book, or learn a new language? Now is the time to do it. The best part, you don't have to answer to anyone. You can wake up every day and make choices that are purely about your own growth and enjoyment. One of the most common fears about stepping away from a relationship or choosing independence after 60 is loneliness. Society has drilled into us that being alone is something to avoid. But being alone and being lonely are two very different things. In fact, many people in unhappy relationships feel lonelier than those who are single. The key to avoiding loneliness is building a support system that doesn't revolve around just one person. Instead of relying on a partner to fulfill all your emotional needs, expand your circle. Reconnect with old friends, join a club, volunteer, or simply start conversations with new people in your community. You'd be surprised how many people are looking for meaningful connections outside of traditional relationships. Another way to redefine happiness after 60 is to embrace adventure. Many people assume that adventure is for the young, but in reality, this is the perfect time to explore. With fewer responsibilities and more freedom, you have the opportunity to travel, try new experiences, and see the world in a way that wasn't possible before. And the best part? You can do it all on your own terms. Want to take a solo trip? Go for it. Interested in exploring new cuisines or cultures? Now is the time. Every new experience adds richness to your life and reminds you that joy doesn't depend on being in a relationship. Beyond adventure and social connections, self-care plays a critical role in making the most of this stage in life. A strong mind and body are the foundation of independence. Take care of your physical health. Eat well, exercise, and prioritize sleep. Take care of your mental health. Meditate, journal, or simply give yourself permission to rest when you need it. When you feel strong in your own skin, you don't need external validation to feel whole. One of the most rewarding realizations that come with embracing independence is that you are enough just as you are. There is no need to chase relationships that drain you or stay in situations that don't bring you joy. Whether you choose to be single or redefine the way you engage in relationships, the most important thing is that you are living in a way that makes you happy. After all, this stage of life isn't about settling, it's about thriving. So how do you take that final step into fully embracing this new mindset? How do you truly let go of the fears and doubts that have been holding you back? That's what we'll dive into next. Now that we've explored the power of independence and the freedom that comes with redefining happiness on your own terms, the final step is embracing this new chapter with confidence and purpose. The biggest challenge many people face after 60 isn't just stepping away from unfulfilling relationships. It's learning to thrive in their own company. But the truth is, this stage of life can be one of the most fulfilling if you approach it with the right mindset. One of the most important realizations is that happiness isn't something you find in others. It's something you create within yourself. For years, you may have built your life around responsibilities, obligations, and the needs of others. But now it's time to turn that attention inward. What excites you? What makes you feel alive? It's time to shift from living for others to living for yourself. Self-discovery doesn't stop after 60. In fact, it can be one of the most exciting times of your life to learn new things about yourself. Try something that challenges you, a new hobby, a new skill, or even a new way of thinking. Growth keeps the mind young and the spirit alive. The moment you embrace learning and curiosity, you start to see the world differently, and that sense of excitement returns. Another key to thriving in this stage is learning to be at peace with solitude. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with loneliness. But solitude can be a gift. It allows you to truly connect with yourself. Spend time in nature, go on solo trips, take yourself out for a meal, or simply enjoy a quiet morning without any distractions. The more you learn to enjoy your own company, the more you realize that you don't need anyone else to complete you. That being said, independence doesn't mean isolation. Building a strong support system is crucial. Instead of relying on a romantic relationship for emotional fulfillment, create connections that uplift and inspire you. Surround yourself with people who share your interests, values, and zest for life. Join clubs, take classes, volunteer, or participate in community events. The beauty of these connections is that they come without the pressure and expectations of a traditional relationship. You're choosing to be around people simply because they bring joy to your life. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is letting go of societal expectations. We've been conditioned to believe that life after 60 should look a certain way: settled, quiet, predictable. But who says you have to follow that path? What if, instead of slowing down, you started exploring? Instead of settling, you started dreaming bigger? There are no rules for how you should live this stage of life, so why not make it exactly what you want it to be? Health and wellness are also critical in this journey. When you prioritize your physical and mental well-being, you set yourself up for a vibrant, fulfilling life. Move your body daily, nourish yourself with good food, and take care of your mental health through meditation, journaling, or simply engaging in activities that bring you peace. When you feel strong and healthy, your confidence grows, and you feel more empowered to live life on your own terms. And finally, the most important thing to remember is that your happiness is in your hands. You are not defined by your past, your relationships, or what society expects of you. You have the power to create a life filled with joy, adventure, and meaning, one that is not dependent on anyone else. The moment you stop seeking external validation and start trusting yourself, you unlock a level of freedom that is truly priceless. So as you move forward, ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? What choices will bring me the most peace and fulfillment? The answers are entirely up to you. This is your time to embrace independence, celebrate your individuality, and create a future that excites you. Because at the end of the day, life after 60 isn't about merely existing. It's about truly living.